going on, everyone? Again, it's Coach K. Just basically going into the whole thing of the NCAA demo that's about to come out, and the upcoming NCAA 11 game. That's going to be obviously one of the games that's going to be shown at E3. It's kind of a nice coincidence that the NCAA demo is going to be coming out on the same week as E3, which is definitely a good look. Ohio State versus Miami, so just everyone's basically just gearing up just to see how it is. To me, um, whenever the NCAA demo comes out, that kind of like marks the beginning of a new a football edition year as a whole. To me, you get your hands on the game. It's you get a little sneak peek at the new features, new physics. Just like I mentioned before in my other post, just hoping that maybe it'll be similar to Madden. Um, but that's about it. I mean, that's definitely gonna be like an interesting thing. Interesting to see how the people react to it on the boards as always. You're gonna try their try to see if what they did the year before works again. Um, and that's always fun to see. If they're able to do that or not, and see what their impressions are, and so on and so forth. Um, but definitely looking forward to seeing the game at E3. Speaking with the developers, and that should definitely be something that should be fun as always. Hopefully, we get a chance to see um, what they're actually going to do about this realignment, of the conferences, the power conferences. Um, I mean, if you told me a year ago that the Big 12, would be basically on the verge of extinction, this time, this time, you know, this time, you know, a year from a year ago, someone told me that a year ago and said that next year, that would happen. I couldn't believe that, but I mean it's happening, you know, obviously it looks like just TV revenue dollars, and it's definitely driving it. Big Ten Network, and I guess the Pac-10 have their own TV deal going right there. So it looks like it's going to end up being Pac-10 expanding, um, Big Ten, um, and it's going to be obviously the mighty SEC, and then after the and now the ACC, and then the Big East. I mean, I'm kind of curious to see what happens with those conferences, um, because to be frank, um, I would expect it, if anything was going to happen, I would expect the changes to be done with the with like conferences like the Big East or something like that. A little bit weaker. The Big 12. I mean, there's a good argument. Always. In the past couple of years, there's always been like a Big 12 team in the mix when it came to the national championship, and they always had compelling games, especially in the South. Now, and maybe that's why. And I've heard that may be a reason why, like Nebraska, um, found it a little bit easier to bolt to the Big Ten because of the disparity in the divisions. Just the South with the Texas Tech, Texas, Texas A&M, all those others, better schools were down in the South, and in the up north, was a little bit leaner. So I guess Tom Osborne just thought that hey, it can't be much worse than what we have now, and we have a lot to benefit from going into the Big Ten. Um, And if you think about it, with the number of teams that they're planning on acquiring from the outside of the league, the Big Ten could actually become the Big 12, which is kind of weird. Um, but it's definitely a crazy thing. And then the Pac-10 is basically getting the rest of the a lot of the rest of the teams in the remaining in the Big 12. Um, and also you saw the reports of staff from Texas saying that they tried to save the Big 12. Um, yeah, Texas definitely being the power team in that conference. That's definitely an admirable thing for them to do to save that conference. But I'm sure it wasn't something that they wanted to do at all. And I'm sure it wasn't something that they were thinking about doing at all. It's just that one school was thinking about it, and I guess just the dominoes fell from there. And it'd be pretty interesting to see what Notre Dame does if they stick to their independent status. I think it's just basically a money thing now. Um, just trying for them just to see if it's worth their while um, to, to go into the Big Ten. I always thought that would make sense for them to go in the Big Ten, but I mean we'll see about that. But yeah, just going back to the game, it'll be interesting to see what they would do um, about the conference realignments. It will be really, really interesting to see what they would do about that. Um, I knew it threw them for a loop. Definitely this late in the development. I'm sure it's not a headache that they needed. Maybe they'll deal with it through a patch, or maybe they have a special tool in the game where you can realign conferences. I know before I'm pretty sure that they had like a custom conferences feature, but it'll definitely be interesting to see um, what they do about that. Um, but as always, the game, the game is definitely going to be fun. Even in the years that the game shared similar engines with Madden, the game always seemed to be like a little bit more wide open, and especially now with the a lot of emphasis on the spread offense. Saw a lot of breakdowns about that. That's definitely something that definitely exciting to see. Um, and just one personal hope for me is that they make draws a little bit more effective, just to pay for people that put everyone into coverage. Because to me, it just seemed like this year that they kind of toned down the draws a little less in NCAA, but a little bit more in Madden. So it'll be definitely be interesting to see what what's gonna go on with that. But just seeing more of an emphasis on spread offense, and them trying to tweak that more. That's definitely a good look. And now, hopefully, they have some changes or some updates to your defensive playbooks to to accommodate for the tweaked spread attacks that we are going to be seeing this year. Yeah, I know on the Madden side, they definitely tweaked the defensive playbooks. They got a couple new through some new formations in there, so hopefully they got that in NCAA too. So it should definitely be interesting to see what they do. Also on on the defensive side of the ball, and just going back to like the current events. Looking right here, we see USC playing, and man, I mean the sanctions. I mean, um, it's a crazy coincidence that that the ruling came down the same day as all the other news of the conference realignment. Um, and I mean, you can't help to think. Obviously, Lane Kiffin saw the writing on the wall coming in. Um, you know, seeing what was going on.